What's up, Alley fans? This your boy Alleylife, and I'm back with another episode. Talk about the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. But hold on. Oh, this is the first time this ever happened. Hold on, we got breaking news. Yes, Mark. We're here live at the CDC. This is flu season, and the CDC is putting out an announcement about the Honolulu flu. Because first, scientists thought that the Honolulu flu only lasts 2 weeks. But after careful study of the Cowboys game, they had a bye week, Mark. After careful study of the Cowboys game, after they came off their bye week, they still showed effects of the Honolulu flu. So now the CDC is warning Green Bay Packer fans and players that the Honolulu flu may still affect you after your bye week. Back to you, Mark. I didn't want the Green Bay Packers to believe that the bye week would probably save them from the curse, because they did studies about the Cowboys and that did not work. What's up, y'all? Like and subscribe to my channel. I really will appreciate it if you go and push that button. Matter of fact, the next subscriber will receive a free pre-roll from Pure Options or a free edible from Fire Ass Munchies. Hey, today they said the weather would be a big issue in this game. It was supposed to stop us from doing anything. Well, I'm not going to say us, because I really truly believe they were just talking about Jared. For some strange reason, everybody got this thing that Jared can't play in weather. He can't play outside, even though he's from California. So I can't imagine him playing too many indoor, games where he's just practicing throwing. He usually probably going to be outside, but I even looked up some of his games. And he had 3 games that were just strictly rain games. No snow or anything, rain games. He won 2 of them, but had good stats in all 3 of them. So I don't even understand where people is getting this idea that Jared can't play in the rain. It's always something we have to show everybody. He was 18 for 22 in this game. Just think about 18 for 22. He started the game off 11 for 11. So the rain really didn't affect us at all. And it didn't affect Jared. But I guess we have to show people, because people want us to fall back to the same old Lions theory. So sometimes we have to go and show people that it's a brand new team with a brand new attitude. And when we come in to just handle business. Jared was 18 for 22 for 145 yards with 1 touchdown. Some people probably will look at those stats and say, Jared did have a bad game because of the weather or whatever. No. All we needed Jared to do in this game was, 18 for 22 for 145 yards and a touchdown. Because we had everything going. We had Sonic going. We had Knuckles going. We had the run game was going. The pass game was going. We wasn't dropping things. We wasn't making mental errors. Gibbs had 11 rushes for 65 yards. Demo had 17 rushes for 73 yards. Hey, this is the first time Demo didn't score a touchdown in a game. He on my fantasy squad, bro. So, this was the first time. But he still got me 12 points. So, I'm good with you. I'm always good with anything the Lions do, bro. But, yeah, I was just saying that. St. Brown had a touchdown. They were just efficient all the way around. And don't forget the guy who I said y'all to look out for, which you didn't look out for because people don't like that part of the game. Jack Fox had 2 great punts. One of them where we were stalled out on the 24, I would say. He punted a 68-yarder. It put them on the 21 or the 22. Just see how that flips the field, how that changes, and is a real good advantage for the Detroit Lions. This guy's a real weapon. I know punting ain't, a lot of people's thing, but this guy is a real weapon. Player of the game. Oh, Dan Campbell. Going for it. Keep going for it. That's your thing, man. That's your identity. Everybody was all nervous and biting their nails. Kick the field goal, man. Kick the field goal. Stop. Stop, bro. Quit trying to tell that man how to run his team. Quit trying to take the grit out of the team. That's the grit of the team. Going for it on fourth down, that's their identity. So when you scared and are nervous, they're not. They don't have that same mentality. Or they don't have the same mentality as the rest of the teams in the league. Because on third down, they're actually throwing a play knowing that they're going for it on fourth down. Other teams, if you're not getting it what you need on third down, you're going to punt. But they already know, I'm going to do this play. The third play may be called to get 5 of 8 yards needed because they're real confident that we can get the other 3 on fourth down. So that's how they call plays. So they're not nervous. It's not a gamble like the rest of the teams are doing. It's like part of their identity and what they do. So would you rather have the 3 that you were begging for, or would you rather take the 7 that we end up getting? I think you would go with me too. I would go with the 7 too. Player of the game. Player of the game brought to you by Fire Ass Munchies, and that's with an AZZ. And you can look them up on Instagram, Fire Ass Munchies. They got the Jello shots. They have the power pouches, the strong Kool-Aids. And this week, they're giving out deals on the cheesecake parfaits, and they out cold. And I don't know if anybody went to go get your free pre-roll because the Lions did win. So you could have went down to Pure Options and said that you saw this on this podcast, and you could have went down there and got your free pre-roll. The same thing goes for this week coming up. That's Pure Options on Livernois, only in the Detroit location. Okay, player of the game. Player of the game has to be Kirby Joseph. I know I said on my last video that the player of the game will be the person or the team that makes the second obvious mistake, but that also happens. So everything I say always is true, come true, because it kind of happened within the same. The first mistake that they made is when the Lions was down on the 5-yard line, and they intentionally went to the line to draw them off sides so that they can go closer, so they can make that fourth down conversion with 2.5 yards instead of a 5-yard play. They knew they were going to try to draw them off sides, and they went up there and they still jumped off sides and gave them that 2.5 yards, which gave up a touchdown. Now, that was the first mistake. I said the second mistake would definitely cost the person or the team the game. The second mistake, obviously, was Kirby's interception, because at that point, it was a 10-3 game. So if you go into the half with a 10-3 game, you're only down 7. Now you can convince your team that, hey, this is something we can come back, we can win. That's something that you can believe in and something that's reasonable. But once he threw that interception for a pick 6 and it was 17-3, now you dug yourself in a hole that's hard to get out of, especially in bad weather. So Kirby Joseph with the interception for the pick 6, which is his first pick 6 ever. All the picks he got, he never had a pick 6. So Kirby Joseph, you are the player of the game with that pick 6. And keep it on to defense. Defense played good, but BB getting put out for the targeting is weird. I'm not going to go into that and go deep in that because I'm doing a second video because I was editing my first video and I erased it by mistake. So I'm just trying to go through this and get some stuff. But BB was not targeting. It looked like he was leading with his shoulder. So for the lead to call from New York, and the referees on the field don't put him out, but the league to call from New York and have him ejected from the game was the weirdest thing I ever seen in a football game. I've never seen that happen ever in a football game. So I ain't gonna even get into that because that's that weird stuff, bro. That's that you got to do something to help the Packers or the Cowboys beat the Lions because it's hard because you say it's going to be a good matchup. They're going to come in and they evenly match. And then we go in there and we get the whooping your favorite team or America's favorite team. And then all of a sudden, all these weird calls and all this stuff. See, I'm starting conspiracy stuff now. I'm going to do it for this because some ain't right with this. I ain't usually into that, but some ain't right with this. So let's roll with they against the Lions. So they called in and was like, hey, he the best player next to Aiden. You got to put him out. Maybe that'll help the Packers win the game. The call was on just like the Cowboys did. Jerry Jones did it. He called because we embarrassed them. He called for the Packers. Yeah, I'm starting that. That's crazy. Anyway, the secondary played good. The defense played good overall. We put pressure. We didn't get sacks. And I know everybody worried about the sacks. We didn't get sacks, but we did put a lot of pressure on them. I mean, Aline put pressure. Alex put pressure. Jack Campbell put pressure. Levi put pressure. Isaiah Thomas, not the basketball player, but the new Detroit Lion put pressure on them. So it was a lot of pressure put on. We got a trade deadline is coming up tomorrow. And of course, everybody's saying that the Lions is going to do something. What's this guy name? Is it Demarius Smith from Cleveland? That's a possibility. People saying that they're working on some things right now. Just a matter of getting the ins and outs done with that. That's what some people are reporting, but I don't know if that's true. But anyway, our secondary is playing lights out. Kirby, of course, BB is better. Amik, Sub-Zero, and CD, they're all doing their jobs. And some of y'all are worried about giving up some big plays, some big plays. But if you notice, we're like keeping big time receivers to a minimum of like 70%, a real low average. And they get those plays in the middle of the field because we're playing man to man. I mean, we're on the island. Each one of our cornerbacks is on the island each time against some real talented receivers. So, of course, they're going to get some here and there, but overall, they're doing their job. But when it gets down to the red zone and you don't get all this field to do all, and now things are shut down. And it's harder for teams to score. They end up getting a field goal or they be hard-headed and go use all 4 downs and get nothing. Defense is doing a good job. Of course, we need a little more pressure. Of course, we need a little help. And I believe they'll bring that in. But I don't think they desperately in need. I don't think things dropped off so much. If we got to the championship game with the defense we had last year, the defense we had last year was, this defense is 5 times 20,000 times 100,000 times 44 billion plus divided by 6 times 1,000,000 times 4 billion times better than the other team. The other secondary that we had last year. So if you compare those, if we can get to the championship with that team and you say we can't make it to the Super Bowl and do something with this defense, you weren't looking at both defenses. Not at all. Now, that leads us to the what I do have to say about defense, what I do have to say about defense is we need to get better with the run fits. Our run fits is lacking, and I believe that's because of Derrick Barnes. We're really missing Derrick Barnes. Derrick Barnes was a key player, especially when it came to the run and the blitzing. He was a good blitzer, and the other linebackers that's covering for them are not. But he had to work on it, and this was just, he had to work on it. And Derrick Barnes was excellent at the run attack and the point of attack and blitzing. And we're missing that a lot, especially Hutch locking down that side and being able to hold the edge and hold that point up, because we don't have that either. James Houston is not holding the edge. So that's something we do need to plug up. And I think that will be done on this trade deficit, on this trade deadline right here. Because the Green Bay Packers love was 23 for 39 for 273 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And I believe that's because Matt LaFleur was not true to running the ball. They were running the ball, they were pounding and using a play action just like the Lions is, but everybody not truly committed to the run because they don't trust that their run to get what they need to get. The Lions are truly committed to making the engine run with the run. So you have a quarterback that's missing passes, that's limping around, that literally had threw a beautiful pass so that you can run and get a field goal at the end of the quarter, and you can't literally run to the line of scrimmage to spike the ball. Your coach seeing all of this, and you come out in the second half, you got a groin injury, so you can't scramble like you should. You can't lean back on it and really deliver the ball, so you're missing passes, you're overthrowing people, you're underthrowing people. And you allow him to come back in the second half, and you got a Malik Willis that has won you 3 games, that is a running quarterback. A running quarterback. We were not stopping Jacobs. Jacobs was running all over us. He had 107 yards in the second quarter. At the second quarter, he already had 107 yards. We got that lead from the interception, and then the coach stopped running the ball. But absolutely, we was not stopping him. If they had brought Malik Willis in that could get around and move a little bit and make some runs, along with him making the runs, they probably would have made the game a way better run for it. But they was not committed to the run like most teams are. They not like the Detroit Lions. Nobody is like us. We can morph into whatever team that we want to be at that time to win that game, that Pacific game. As far as their defense, it came in, it was a big hype because they had the most takeaways. They wasn't the number one defense, but they had the most takeaways, and they were, causing a lot of havoc. They didn't cause any havoc. The Lions basically did run, pass. They basically did everything that they wanted to do. The whole playbook was open. We didn't have to do much because, it was raining, so you're not going to try to go down the field. But Jared still was throwing balls down the field and completing them. And still, we had this weird thing where you had 6 games where you have more touchdowns than you have incompletions. If we go one more game like that, that is just, nobody will ever break this record. Nobody will go play 6 full games as a quarterback in the NFL and have more touchdowns than you have incompletions. That don't even sound right. But that's your Detroit Lions. Anyway, we're the head of the NFC North, head of the NFC period. And one more thing before I go. We have to have this, bro. We're 7-1. We need this because our bye week was on week number 5. So if we get the top seed, we'll have that bye week at the beginning where everybody doing the wild card round. And we're going to be playing so many games straight that we definitely going to need that break to recuperate before the playoffs start. And plus, we'll have both games in Detroit, and then you're going straight to the Super Bowl. So we're actually on that path. Wow. Detroit Lions, let's go. Hey, we on the road next week to Houston to see CJ Stroud. This should be a good one. Hey, I need you to like and subscribe to the channel. Alleylife Podcast, all Lions talk. Peace.